We've got a lot of folks we got to finalize and confirm that. And so, but don't worry. If you're an artist or know of somebody and would like us to feature them, AJ at 16ozcanvas.com. Make sure you like and subscribe and get in touch. Um, Maybe I'll have the email address. So AJ at 16ozcanvas.com right here. Email it away. Get in touch. Let us know. Use the form on the website. Tell a friend. We're just figuring out. We're having some fun. I don't know if we'll keep this for the next season, but maybe we'll give the artist that option and see what comes up and how it goes from there. So we'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think. Also, right now in our country is the George Floyd trials here in the States. It's a really powerful. If you have not listened to any of it, it's heartbreaking. It's gut wrenching, and to really hear and see new footage and to kind of relive that, especially for my friends and those in the African American community who have dealt with issues with policing and injustice in the past. So it's really an opportunity as we get into this Easter weekend to really look out and reach out and do whatever you can to support others and try to be an ally. I do firmly believe that talk is cheap. You can't say I'm an ally and just that's it, or maybe like a post, or don't be a slacktivist. Really try to use use your platform, use your privilege, to make an impact and help those who if they speak up, they're afraid of the consequences. So if we're really trying to bring everybody together, being there and being a voice and amplifying and listening, please listen. You don't know all the answers. I don't know all the answers. I am 42 years old and I am continuing to evolve and grow, trying to be a better man and a better father and a friend and ally, to some who have called me an ally or feel that I'm an ally. Others, I'm just trying to be my true self and listen to their story, amplify and, pass the mic whenever possible. Most recently in my day job, this is just an example. I'm not really trying to pat myself on the back or anything like that, but I just think it's important to, give examples. I was, asked to speak at a conference on a panel, and I turned it down. I asked, about the makeup of the panel and the diversity of the panel, and frankly, it was some bullshit answer about we're colorblind and we don't see color, and just awful responses. And again, I don't think they had any malice, but just when you say things like that, it just negates the hardship and the stories that others are telling and sharing and trying to impact that change. And so just I was pushing. I said, oh, I can find someone to replace me. Maybe we can work on that. But at the end of the day, I think that when we can and what we can do to impact change for today and for tomorrow is extremely important. So please, use the time. I know we're getting closer to the end. Opportunities to be more with our family and a lot of time to reflect on where we've been, not only in this past year but just larger picture, and just let's be better humans. Let's just look out for each other and try to listen and be empathetic and be a part of the change. Yeah, it's important. Okay, so as we move forward, we'll continue to share these projects and things that we're doing. We're hoping that we can organize some community events, both in my role here at the 16-ounce canvas as well as with beer culture, and just trying to impact and be the change that we want to see. So I appreciate all of you, especially you, for joining us each and every week. Like I said, we're about to approach 4 years. I think next week will be about the 4-year anniversary of our first episode. So we truly thank you all. We will make a concerted effort to update the social media a little bit better, Instagram specifically. But without further ado, episode 187, Mr. Jason Burke. Let's see what he's up to, the music he's doing, and I think this beard is good. He has a beard of epic proportions that he's rocking for us. So check him out, inkandleaddesigns.com, Ink and Lead Designs on Instagram. He's just a good dude, and it's a good story, and I hope that you will all enjoy it. So without further ado, episode 186, 86 plus 1, 187. 186 was Dan Blakesley. Sorry about that. But here it is. Without further ado, Jason Burke, AJ Cairns, the 16-ounce canvas. Yeah, the art of craft beer podcast. Cheers.
Kind of sheltering in place and writing a bunch of songs. So, hopefully when all this clears up, there will be an explosion, a renaissance of music and sounds and art. It'll just all happen at once, hopefully.
I'm excited. Yeah, we have a venue here in Connecticut, and it's like a big music bowl, and I think it's like a 10,000 seat venue, but they're bringing it down to maybe like 2,000 seats, and people are going crazy because they're starting to announce shows. And one of the shows went on sale yesterday and like crashed the system because people were just like, I want live music. And yeah, so it's
have you tuned into any of the live stream shows?
Yeah, we saw Jason Isbell did one. We New Year's, the Avid Brothers did one at like one of the North Carolina speedways. So, and then what was another one? Trey from Fish. Like they basically for like 2 months they gave him every Friday night. He did a live show from the Beacon. It was pretty cool. Like there's no one there, but like it was pretty sweet.
I don't mind it. Like it's not live, but I don't know. Probably in my younger days, I would have turned my nose up at it and be like, this sucks. But I don't know. The older I get, the more it's like, oh, I'll kind of stand in the back. I'll let all the kids have the fun up front. But I just like to watch and listen now more than I like to be up near the pit or, pressed against the security gates. Like, oh, God.
I don't mind it. Like, Fish is probably one of the first bands I listened to that really did it. And they would always do like 4 nights over like New Year's at the Garden. And once we had kids, we'd maybe go one of the nights. And so it was affordable. I could buy like a really nice 6-pack or 6 packs of beers, you know what I mean? And just like kick it and not have to like deal with the train and all that shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I'm not going to complain. It's not so bad.
It's part of the experience though, right? Like,
right. Like I don't like to be up in the front. Like I don't like to be like crammed like this.
Yeah.
I like a mid-tier seat where I can see the lights and see the whole thing. So for me, some of them are banned with like one camera person, like you can tell. But like when they have a couple cameras, they're really it's pretty great. And then I can turn my kids on to the music. I don't have to worry about somebody, smoking, tons of dope, which I'm not against, but just like I can turn my kids on to music earlier than before.
I guess the only drawback, from that standpoint is the lack of feedback from the audience. They stop playing and it's just kind of quiet. And I'm like, all right, that was good. yeah. Like
some of them had like screens up and like try to interact, which I thought was kind of cool, but yeah, it's not the same, but it's still like 70, 80%, which I'm pretty good with.
Yeah. I'll take what I can get. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's good. So How long have you guys been rehashing the band?
Well, we've been playing together. We actually started probably 3 or 4 months before things went on lockdown. And so it's been over a year that we've been playing and nowhere to play. So it's kind of interesting. We've had some people come over and we posted stuff, and it's like I said, it's going to be kind of interesting once things open back up. I think everyone's just going to come fully loaded with all these new songs, and you're going to see bands you've never seen before. Yeah, we were just having a good time. It's a nice, like, they talk about like staying within your bubble. So my bandmates we're in our bubble. We've practiced with masks on and stuff. Uh, the vocals are a little bit muffled, but we've recorded a bunch of stuff. It's pretty cool. We look forward to a day when we can actually get out and play in some places. But for now, it's a nice Wednesday evening release, to get
Yeah.
out and just hang out, have some time away from home.
Yeah, the ritual of it is nice, and just kind of like the shared weirdness of it with everybody. And
For sure.
I think the creativity is exciting. I'm just like, I can't wait for just new albums, and especially bands that, like, some of the younger bands are like classic band house. They all live together. Like, I can't wait for that. Where just like all they're doing, and either they'll hate each other and break up, or they'll have like 6 albums. Like, there's gonna be no like middle ground. It's gonna be like,
Right.
fuck you, or like, I love you. Here's like my COVID, box set. Yeah.
Dude, what happened to your band? COVID.
Yeah. We lived
Really?
together.
Did someone get sick? No, we just hate each other now.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like, yeah, or like there's gonna be like, yeah, like some families are gonna have like a ton of babies, and others are gonna have like a ton of divorces. It's gonna be like,
Right.
like I
Right.
love you so much, or like, oh, I'm kind of, all right, good seeing you, good talk.
This is the test. This is like, if you could survive this, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, yeah, for our family, because I'm in sales, still, 3+ years since you've been on podcast, still do not pay the bills. So you're not surprised to hear that. But yeah, I mean, I would normally travel for my job a little bit, and my wife's a school teacher, so we've kind of flipped roles. And today's one of the few days I have, now with the kids back for most of the time. It's starting to feel normal again, but it's just been, yeah. I mean, I'm very lucky. So, but it's been crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there. It has its days. Like this morning. I told you I was up late trying to unwind from practice. As you get a little bit jacked up when you get home, it's kind of like, all right, decompress. Let's get into sleep mode here. And so it was around 1 a.m. when I finally, went to bed. And then I swear to God, it was like 5 o'clock. My daughter comes in the room and she's got like a sore throat, allergies. My wife got her back to bed. And then at 7, my son gets up. He's going into school part-time now. And he decided to play with the dog, with a squeaky toy. And it was like the whole house was like, squeak, 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 squeak. I was like, I just want to sleep in a little bit. Is that too much to ask? So, he got home. He apologized. And we're back on good terms. But
Speaking terms.
it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Thursday night's my night. Like, we do the video now. So like this season, we're trying to just, it's more like a COVID thing, and to catch up with some of the early folks like yourself who are big supporters. And it's cut down my editing a little bit, like instead of having to do the audio editing. But Thursday nights, like a bunch of like like different groups of friends got, like, I didn't know all these guys, I only knew one or two, and got invited like a standing poker game. And so like Thursday is like poker and editing. And now it's like, it's flipped. Like my wife is kind of like, oh, this is like mom night. Like she's like, I can just have like, a chill night for me. So she's like, kids go to bed, like, hey, do what you gotta do. And she'll watch, she watches all the shows that I would, she knows I don't want to watch, or that I would, goof on. And so it's kind of like we both have a little internal escape. But yeah, sometimes Friday mornings are a little foggy.
Yeah. Yeah, the slow start.
Yeah, I don't rebound like I used to. So that's a
No,
post-pandemic thing. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be a cheap date. Like, like first party, it's gonna be like, all right.
yeah, right. All right, it's 9 o'clock. Time for
Yeah,
bed.
it's like, gotta go. It's like it's only 10
Woo.
o'clock. It's like, yeah, this is really late
Exactly.
now. Yeah. So dude, where are we right now? Are we in the band area? Where are we?
No, this is my garage. This is the only
Okay.
quiet place in the house. The kids are upstairs. My wife's working, so I just needed some privacy. So we're in the garage, and I've been doing some projects around the house, renovating some stuff, putting up some lights. So the cars aren't in here, and it seemed like a good spot. I
Yeah.
got all bunch of stuff hanging on the
Yeah, that's
walls.
I was kind of wondering, like the big Tabasco and what's going on and wood carving
Yeah,
and stuff. And
projects and set scenery. Uh, yeah, it's a nice little getaway. Like I
yeah,
said, it's one of the only quiet places in the house. I'm waiting for someone to come in and bother me, one of the kids or something. But
yeah,
uh,
I have like an hour and a half until my little guy I go get him. But yeah, so yeah, because when I interviewed you, one of the things that really resonated with me was how you said like you'd like to do like work at the kitchen table, so like the family can kind of see like dad's passion and creativity, and that was I don't know like maybe I'm getting older, but like I take little like life nuggets from each, and that one stuck with me more than I thought it would. And when I do work, I try to let the kids know what I'm doing and like make them have like a shared sense of pride or just yeah. So that was always really really special to me when you said that.
it's so good for them, I think, to see that. And even when I'm doing stuff around the house or working, like I want them to help. I want them to know that they can do stuff too. It's we're kind of disconnected from everything in a way. Like technology is run away. Even working on cars isn't the way it used to be. What am I thinking of, that iced tea commercial where he's like, cars ain't the way they used to be. You only needed a wrench and a hammer. Like now you need to be a rocket scientist. uh,
Make a
but
computer.
now, like, yeah, when kids you know see you working on stuff. That's how I grew up, is helping my grandpa and my dad work on projects, and they team up together. And uh, just having that role model to say, like, yeah, you don't always have to call someone to fix stuff. Or if you want to make a giant Tabasco bottle, you can just grab some paint, go to the hardware store, and figure it out. So uh, and for kids to see a work ethic, you hear about work ethic and grit all the time, but I think that's something that's just passed down. Like, kids watch you and they see what you're doing and they see your passion for something, and they're like, oh, I can be more than one thing when I grow up. I don't have to just, what one thing do you want to be when you grow up? That's always like a loaded question, right? Like,
Sucks.
you could be a ton of stuff. You could be in a band, you could make beer labels, you could teach ceramics, you could, whatever you want to do, work on the house.
Yeah.
It's so healthy, you know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but as you get older, you start to see friends lose interest in old hobbies and just become one thing. Just become a one-dimensional character, especially for guys. It seems like a lot of guys isolate as they get older. They have less and less friends. I think it just happens naturally. People get into family, and uh, just being able to see, like, yeah, hobbies bring people together. Stuff like this, like what we're doing now. It's
Yeah.
this would
And
never
that's
happen.
right. I mean, I think that's one of the joys of this is like the idea that hopefully at some point I get to travel again. I see the map and all these people. I can't wait to connect. So I was like, why don't we just? I'm on Zoom all the time. Like, let's try this. And it's been, I don't know, it's selfishly been really good for me because you isolate and you kind of then it's like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in a month or two. Like, should I then it becomes 3 or 4 months and then it really just kind of fizzles out. So it's good. I mean, my kids are different. They both have different interests, and I try to, my youngest wants to skateboard, so I take him to the skate park, and my oldest he's into coding and he's writing a comic book. And so it's like, all right, you can be as weird or whatever you want to be, man. Like, just
Yeah,
as long as you work hard and, are a good person, a good human, like, we'll figure out the rest, so we'll see.
that's good. Yeah, foster whatever creativity they show a spark for. I'm always, hey, my son mentioned something about drums. I'm like, let's get some drums. Yeah, I've always wanted to do that. That'd be cool. Okay, a month later, the drum set's over in the corner, and we're on to the next thing. But hey, I'm the same way.
Yeah, the skateboarding thing is still, we got it for Christmas. Like we found time during COVID. There's a really great skate park near us, like New Haven. The older kids are super cool and supportive. But like he didn't know who Tony Hawk was. Like, so like going on YouTube in like their domain and be like, dude, check this out. And like I watched his head like explode. Like, I watched like the 900 video and he was like, holy shit. I mean, I hope he didn't say that, but like in his head, but like, yeah, it was awesome. And so we watched, and so I don't know. I've said it a couple of times, right? Skateboarding has been amazing to me because it's the same trick over and over again until you get it. And people notice, like, they get a bad rap, I think, of being like burnouts and stoners. And, as somebody who indulges, I think it's a bad rap. I mean, they're just doing their thing and they're super supportive. Like, and they're really cool with, he's 7 and he's little and they're not like, oh, this little kid's here, they're.
Yeah, isn't that awesome though, that like now they have skate parks everywhere? Like, we didn't have that. I mean, I don't know about you, but around here in the Midwest, like the 7-Eleven was the skate park, or the bank. After hours, go and try to do tricks off the rails in the parking lot.
Yeah,
and maybe that's where the bad name came from, the bad rap, because you just had to go hang out wherever there was a spot. And now it's like, oh, there's 5 skate parks around me. I can go wherever.
Yeah, and this one's huge and it was great. And then we like drove because it was like I found to your point, I found an indoor one. That was the only one we had to pay for, but the other one was like a city property. We paid, we're inside, masked and like ventilated. I feel like I have to like caveat everything you do now that you're like not an asshole who like doesn't believe in that stuff. It was safe and it was just cool because. Yeah, and again, a bigger, this tall dude. He was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. So I'm trying to drop in, and he came over and was like, "Do it like this, dude," and like went on the other ramp and like showed him like 5 or 6 times, and then my son got it, and like the dude was like way across court and noticed it and like was like super amped about it. Like it was awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell them to stick with it.
Yeah. We're hoping the weather's been. Today's our nicest day weather-wise here. I think we're about to crack 70, and so we were kind of, I said, it's good if they have something they really like to, the parenting bribe or guilt. Like, hey, if you're well behaved, we can go do this weekend. That's not gonna last much longer, but I'm gonna ride it out as much as I can. And so the teaser was to go to the skate park this weekend. So
excellent.
Yeah. So how you been, man? What's how ink and lead? Are you still cranking out?
Still cranking? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's fast and furious. I don't know if it's the same way for everybody, but it's been busy. Like strangely so. There has not been a lull at all in illustration. Maybe it's just me. It's harder to tap into my artistic motivation. It just comes at weird times, and even small tasks seem daunting sometimes, like especially when you have to get into kind of a creative flow. But it's been good, really good. Yeah. Pipeworks, Old Irving Brewing, New Oberfalls out in Indiana, and then Sour Not Sorry out in Massachusetts, all sours. It's been pretty crazy with all the different requests and commissions.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah. What I've noticed is like people who have had like an established name or had been doing it for a little while ramped up pretty well because there's been more cans coming out during all this with curbside and everything. like people were trying to crack in. I wouldn't say it's been bad, but it just hasn't been. It's been I think that those who had it in already were put to work pretty because it went someplace went from a couple cans to like all cans all the time,
Yeah.
curbside and everything. And I think that's been really, as a consumer, it's been selfishly pretty great. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That I think that's a big part of it is people aren't going out to bars as much. So now they're buying more of it and just getting into going to the store and looking at the shelves and seeing what's available. Uh, yeah, I think it's been good for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Now, four breweries, that's more than when we were talking previously. How especially during all this, how are you managing like the different schedulings?
Not very well. Like it's just like I I am the worst at the business administration part of it. Like I just like to draw and doing the rest of it. The social media aspect of it, the scheduling, the invoicing, keeping track of deadlines. It's so, like I said, it should be a simple task, but everything is that much more difficult in the midst of a pandemic. Like everything is just like, oh man, forgot about that, or how did 3 weeks go by already? Like I've just sometimes I just feel lost. It's hard to do. Even when you emailed me, that was like 2 weeks ago, right? I was like, how is it here already? I remember I told AJ like, oh yeah, 2 weeks from now. And I sat back and I was like, that's gonna come up fast. Things are just gonna go.
I do, yeah. I don't know if I have a setting or something, but if I don't reply to something, it'll like, it's kind of creepy, but like it moves up to the top of my Gmail. It's like 5 days since you've done anything. Or if it's something like that where it's like you want to get back to me in a couple weeks, like I'll write you the email, little inside secret, and then there's a schedule button. I'll just schedule it for like 2 weeks, so because I'm like you, if I don't do it right then, like you'll notice you wrote me last night and I wrote you back in 3 minutes because I was like, if I don't write it back now, it's gonna be like noon, and then I'm gonna be like, it'll be next week. So that like
Yeah.
I'm overly connected sometimes with stuff like that, but I just feel like if I write back right away, I have a better chance of getting it off my mental to-do list.
Isn't that like the hardest part of the battle is defeating yourself? Like you are your own worst enemy, and you need to find ways to circumvent your own sabotage. Like, because I will do the same thing. I'll forget stuff, and sometimes I'll just leave like a post-it note right on the, right in the middle of my computer screen, so I remember like, oh yeah, I got it. Okay, it's whatever trick you can pull off.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. But I also find myself like at the time thinking I'm like really fucking creative with like my post-it note, like, oh yeah, then like I go look at it and be like, what do these 7 random words mean? Like this does not make any sense. It's like schedule, open house, that's no. Either you were drunk or you thought you were like remembering it and you're not. It's like, it's not good.
I, I spend hours just organizing because I'm lazy. Like if I'm organized, I can be lazier. When I'm not organized, it's more work. So I just spend hours like sorting and especially like files and file structuring, just cleaning up all the time, desktop and inside of folders where it was like final revised, final revision 2.3, like, all right, get rid of all the old garbage. It's going to take you an hour, but it's going to save you 5 hours when someone needs that file again someday.
So that's one of our questions we added, I think, after you. What is your naming convention in theory? Like, how do you name your files?
Okay. So I'll start off with like 3 folders. The first one's research. The second one is sketches, and the third one is inks and renders. The problem happens later during proofing, because keeping track of all the revision history, I've watched videos on it. I'm like, I don't understand really how, how artists keep it all straight, but I'll have a bunch of like thumbnails, and they're all ordered like font research, and mostly screenshots of stuff that I find. But I'll put like, when I'm done with the actual file, I'll package it from Illustrator into its own like folder export. And that way I know that's the good one. And all the other stuff is just kind of junk. But then going back to find the unflattened versions of stuff, or the revision unflattened, it's a nightmare. Admittedly, I suck at it.
I add the date. That's how I do it. Like Camelback it. I don't like spaces in the names. I'll do the date. I do it like European way. I do like day, 2 date letter, like 2 number days, and like word of the month, and a year. But I changed that, so like that helps me a little bit, So at least but yeah.
When all else fails, I gotta organize by date opened. I look at the last one that I opened, and that's probably the most recent. So technology saves me sometimes, but then I start moving stuff into like cloud storage that I haven't used in a long time, and that'll come back to bite me once in a while. And I've got a bunch of external drives full of stuff. Just like I try.
Got one here.
There you go.
I got this one.
Well, especially if you're moving to video stuff. Oh my God, you're gonna be like gigs.
I mean, I'm thankful I have a couple. I have another one of these somewhere. Yeah. I mean, I have other like bigger. I have probably like 4 or 5, and I have pretty good backup of it. Like I basically just wait till I get the message from Mac. I'm at like a threshold, and then I just drag over the last 6+ months of it, and so far so good. And I know we're old, man. We're just so much cheaper than when I was growing up, so I don't really, if I have to go buy another like 2-3 terabytes, it's only like $100. So
that's it, it's getting cheaper. I remember when 100 gig was like a big deal. Now it's like, how many terabytes do you need?
I'm trying to see if I have any of my old, like I found a bunch of old floppy disks, and I'm like, I remember that was like the shit. Like, this is like, now,
I have hundreds of them. I had an old Sony with the hard drive that would go into the side, and I just had disks and disks, probably 200 of them, and just loading them in, and looking at those old images, and like the potato quality of the image was like, videos, and then just like dumping them onto the drive. I'm like, none of these are worth keeping. I can't even tell who's in it. It looks like a blurry mess. Mm-hmm. But now I started using them as coasters, the little floppies. Great coasters.
I was thinking maybe like gluing them together, like spinning them out, and then just have them be like they're not even heavy enough to be like a paperweight. Like they're literally like borderline the weight of paper. Like they're
we just throw them away or open an Etsy store. I don't know what to do with.
Dude, I have a whole like huge tub in the basement garage of like all because I used to do a radio show, and so I have like thousands of CDs. I just feel terrible throwing them out, but I brought one of the books into the car because my car's older, so it has a CD player, and that's been okay. But like my Mac doesn't have a drive. I don't even know how I would listen to them on a computer.
Right. It'll gives you a CD. I'm like, this technology isn't that old. Like I have nowhere to play it.
Yeah, I have a better chance of playing a vinyl record than I do a CD player.
Exactly. You've gone backwards. I used to have a cassette player too, but I think that finally crapped out. I saved a VHS player. I'm like, this will come in handy because I've got like 20 VHS tapes tried to play one last year. It just ate the tape. It
Really?
was destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bunch of like I used to tape my radio shows on a cassette, and my nephew has like a converter, but I think I'm just gonna buy one and like digitize it because I have the first hour of the first show I ever did from like I think it's from '97, and I know I listened to it not recently, but it's so bad it's gonna be good. I can't wait.
Yeah, right. Old band recordings off old Tascam is like, I just can't part with it.
Yeah.
But it's so much work to transfer it. You got to play it live. And yeah, it's a whole, no, I don't want to deal with it. Just keep them on the tape. Wait till the tape degrades and falls apart, and then I'll have a better reason to throw it away.
Yeah, maybe I'll just like frame it. Like maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Like in the future, it'll be like a thing that I can
like cryogenically freeze it so that when they develop the technology to fix it.
Yeah, I just once I digitize it, but then again, then I figure out where to store it, and then I worry about losing that. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. This is technology's moving past me, and I have less of a.
Yeah, I found my awards. At least I can prove to my kids that I did do the radio show like I said I did. So that'll be good.
Exactly. Save it for the kids.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool at some point. Yeah.
Because it wasn't that like I was so interested in what my dad was doing when he was young.
Yeah.
Dad, you got any old tapes of yourself? You know what? I'll probably listen to them. Well, my dad doesn't have any tapes, but
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be kind of funny. I remember it was the radio station was so shitty. Like, I mean, it was a college radio station, but like the phone didn't work. Like, I remember one time interviewing somebody, I would ask a question and then I had to put the phone up and like crank the pot up so they could hear. It was like so bad. But yeah, I mean, it was cool though. I mean, I got so much music because there was this old bluegrass guy, Bluegrass Express, went on after me on Friday nights, and he was like, he was older. It was like pre kind of internet being super like very popular, and he would have like stacks of CDs in his mailbox at the station. I was just blown away. I was like, how did you? He's like, well, you write like on the back, you can find like their address. You write them a letter, and then they start circulating your information, and that happened. You know, once I was on a couple lists. I mean, you got a lot of shitty music, but you get like some dude like or a band like with and record in their basement or at home. Oh, those are the best. Like the raw, like you knew there was a big deal because I managed a band, like to know it was so how like big deal that was. They sent that to you, like oh, that was the best.
My wife used to write reviews for Punk Planet, and same deal. Like CDs, just 20, 30 at a time come flowing through the door, and you can't possibly listen to them all, especially in that format. It wasn't like now Spotify, you just click on it and not interested, click on the next one. They're like you had to open the disc and like load it in and then sit there and give it a good hearing. But same thing, yeah, you discover some really awesome bands. I think that was the first time that I heard Against Me was, through one of those reviews. And I was like, oh man, we got to go check these guys out. This is amazing. So many good bands. Yeah.
Yeah. My roommate was like, we'd get one, or he'd be like, what is that? I was like, I don't know. And we'd be like, all right, let's listen to the next track. And I think it was one of the women in like Rusted Root, like not one of like, she wasn't a main person. She had this like side little band. I'm going to pull it out of the air. I think it was called Love Child. And it was beautiful. Like it was great. And so like we would like listen to it and no one knew it was awesome, so that was, I was always hoping for those moments. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. There's a rawness to a lot of those early recordings. It's like such a trope to say, oh, I like their earlier stuff better, but maybe there's something to that, where the recording is just a little more raw. There's not as much production going into it, and it's just heart and soul. like your early radio recordings. It's fun to
Yeah.
revisit because you're just like straight,
Yeah,
going.
even some of the bands that like I allow that was like a bunch of allow live recordings, and so like that would always be I always enjoyed like they call them odds like versus a soundboard, they'd have like a standing mic in the back behind like the soundboard and record, but like you'd get the crowd, you'd get that like aha energy, like there's that, or they're teasing a song and you think and like you kind of felt it. So like that evolved and became my favorite was like they called it like a matrix. And so they like overlay the audience with the soundboard. So you got like the Christmas of like the music, but like felt like you were still there. And so yeah, I mean, and tapes, I mean, recording tape is so, I mean, now it's so expensive, but like it wasn't this digital thing where it's like you could do that verse over again. It was usually you had to record the whole thing in, one take or get really creative.
Yep. Yeah. Going from analog to digital changed a lot. You can
Mhm.
do a lot more, but you also kind of miss out on some of that raw energy that goes into a live, one take type of recording.
Yeah.
You can almost overly cleanse it and sanitize it to the point where it doesn't have a soul anymore. You've removed every human element that went into the recording. Uh, but it sounds good. So
Yeah, I mean, whatever I'm doing works, but yeah, just like when you realize it, I don't know, when you break it apart and really appreciate it, it's like, like it's all those layers in like a Photoshop file, right? Or InDesign. It's just amazing. But now
oh
it's like, oh, turn that little thing up or let's overlay, play that again. And before, I mean, you could probably, I think you could still do it back in the day. They'd have to run the tape back and make it its own channel and you'd play on top of it. But like it was work. Like it was a whole thing. And it wasn't,
right.
wasn't finite. Like it was, if you fucked it up, it was gone forever.
It's yeah. It's there's not another chance to edit undo. You're
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
dealing with you're dealing with a real art material. That that's funny that you say that because a couple of years ago I tried to change my whole like process and just start sketching digitally. Just go right into the Wacom tablet, and it stiffened all my artwork up. It was just like trying to start a recording from a digital track and not lay down a live track first. It sterilized it and stiffened everything.
mhm.
I don't know how to describe it, but I was unhappy with a lot of the results I was getting. It just seemed lifeless in a way. The drawings didn't have a sparkle to them. There was not when you're doing this with your hand, to do that, well, back when I was using a mouse to draw everything, like to do that movement with a mouse is like impossible. So you lost that lively arc that some of the lines would have. And yeah, I'm the same way with music. I think live first, you get that energy and the confidence, and then you digitize it. It'll still have a little sparkle to it.
Mhm.
It comes through in the end.
Have you come to peace with the digital aspect of it?
No, no, I still start out everything with pencil and paper and then scan.
Okay.
It's just, even I'll just like take a picture with my phone of the drawing and then I pop it in. And as long as I have that underlay when I'm inking of like the live drawing, I call it a live drawing, not a dead drawing, but it comes through. You can see it in the final product. It's weird how and maybe it's just me, but I can see the artist's strokes in a painting and compare that to if the artist like made the painting digitally and then had a robot go with the paintbrush and make those brush strokes. It would lose something in the translation, you know.
Yeah. No, our boy Matthew Ryan Sharp, he's near you in the Midwest, and yeah, he can't.
Yeah,
He can't. He does everything by hand, like probably even more so than you do. And he's yeah.
yeah, he's still clicking along with the mouse.
Yeah, yeah.
It blows me away, man. His drawings are awesome. And he like he always puts like in the hashtags like what is it, Bezier curve or whatever, like clicking with the like,
Yeah.
oh man, gotta get that tablet, but that's part of his process. You know?
He's stubborn as hell. Yeah. I apologize. I'm like, I'm not, I mean, I'm a fan of an angel's mouth. I'm like cursing up a storm, um, but yeah, no, yeah, because we met up in Ohio and he showed me his sketchbook and you can really see like all the whole process and how he does it. And
But he's got that same element, that live sketch that
mm,
has all that energy and all those like, random lines and errant, erasure marks, but then goes in and does the careful, curves and lines over the top of it. You can totally see it.
mhm.
Yeah, I can tell an artist that works analog first as opposed to just going straight in for the digital. I don't know. Maybe I can't. Maybe I'm just
Yeah, right.
full of it. Like,
Yeah, I would love it if I was like, well, right, let's see, let's do a little test. What about this one?
let's see,
Yeah.
live or straight to digital. I don't know. I watch a lot of those videos on social media where they do the process and it's like a speed painting or a speed drawing,
Mhm,
and it just blows me away. I'm like, I can never start on the tablet. It's just I feel a little bit of separation anxiety.
mhm.
Uh, and
Yeah,
but then you go analog and you're like, I screwed that up. I want to undo it.
it's like undo life. Yeah. Sometimes
Command Z,
it's like
Command Z.
you say something to your spouse, your kid, or a boss, you're like, shit, is there an undo button? Can I take that back?
Exactly. Real life edit undo. That's what we all need.
Yeah. I love those videos where the people like they have like they do like a quick and like you don't even know what it is and like they flip it over the last second and it's like this amazing like portrait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah. Huh?
oh, they're
What?
like, ah, and like, all right, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different. That's just a different process. I don't know. I think some people look at the digital aspect of it, and sometimes it feels like they're looking at it a little bit, skeptically. Like, did you draw that? I'm like, yeah. Well, how did it get to the computer? Like, it's not like a hanging like real thing in my life. It's on a screen, so therefore you cheated somehow. Like, I've heard people say this. Like, did you draw that? Like, yeah. I, yeah, I found it somewhere on a stock site. Like,
Draw that. It's like saying like you take medicine. It's like, well, they didn't make the medicine. Like right,
right,
like mortar it up in that little thing. Like, oh, that's not real. Like, get at it.
right. Oh, you're using an electric guitar. It's not acoustic. That's cheating.
Yeah.
You're not playing for real.
You have an amp. You're not playing single mic style. Like, what are you? Like,
Cheater. Cancel them.
people got too much time in their hands to like care that much. It's like, so you don't like it? No, I love it, but like, you didn't draw that. Like, oh, okay, thanks. Yeah, great.
New mediums come along, new technology comes along all the time, and there's always someone that's going to say, like, yeah, that doesn't count, or that's a lesser art form because it's it's a beer label, or like, come on, this is a digital print, but it's still a print. There's no less of a print than a screen print, or going back to inking it and doing it on a Gutenberg press.
Mhm.
It all started somewhere. Someone had to write it. Someone had to draw it. Someone somewhere down the line had to do the art part of it.
Yeah, my like new thing is like your success does not negate my success, and like we can both do things and be proud of them and have success or whatever that means for us, and that's okay. It's not like we don't have nothing. It doesn't have to be a top 10 list all the time. Like like it's good. Like, and that's okay. Like I don't know. I feel really strongly about that because I think a lot of times, like I'm in sales, so the idea is like I'm supposed to be like stepping over bodies to get to
Yeah,
the top, and it's like no, I'm good. Like dude crushed it today. She crushed it. That presentation was awesome. Like doesn't mean I'm not going to come in and rock my thing, but like I don't know. It's okay to give somebody else to do.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think there's lots of room for everybody to get in.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in and be supportive. And I'm way too introspective and critical of myself to ever like feel like I need to step on somebody in order to advance myself. Like in the levels of art, I feel like I'm near the bottom. I see so many artists. You spend any time online cruising around looking at other people's art, you're just like, how come you're not more well known? How come you're not doing every beer label that's available? Like, oh my God, this is how lucky am I?
I mean, I'd argue you've got one of the more iconic labels, the Ninja Unicorn, right? I mean, so we all can be down on ourselves. I mean, I do it sometimes. Why aren't I getting interviewed about my podcast, or why isn't this? But I don't. At the end of the day, again, I apologize for cursing, but fuck them. Like, I don't really care that much. Like, I'm proud of. It brings me joy, and if no one listens, that's like, in a lot of ways, it's selfish, and so like I enjoy it, and I've got all these friends like yourself around the world, and so like that's, it's all about being. It's all relative.
Yeah, yeah. I think any time and money spent doing something you enjoy is not a waste.
Yeah.
It's just pure enjoyment. How is it any more or less productive to play a video game or to, whittle, whittle something out of a chunk of wood? We're going to get too existential here, but it's like, what? Have fun.
Yep.
Do what you like.
Yeah, man, I'm with you on that one. And you got your big old beard, and I'm impressed with the beard action. So I definitely, yeah.
It's been weird because people only see me from here up. I think there's some people that don't even know I have a beard because I have this big old bandana that covers everything.
Okay.
But those masks, they really irritate the mustache, don't they?
Yeah.
You get a little like, oh God.
Yeah, I raced like whenever I need anything at the store, I'll be the first. I'm like, I'll go because I don't leave the house very often. So like my mask wearing is very like minimalistic. Like, so if I have to walk the kid to like drop off line and then like back in the car or pick them up, like I maybe have a mask on for like all of like 15 minutes in a day. Meanwhile, my wife's a teacher and she's wearing that thing all day, and so it's like she's got to find ones that don't fog her glasses up and ones that this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, all right, yeah. So, yeah, I've been a little mad. That part of all this hasn't bothered me. And yeah, and my little guy, he tries to match his masks with his like what he's gonna wear that day. Like I don't know. So that's all. I guess it's when you think about it. He's in second grade. It's really all they know. So it's been okay. Like all things considered.
Yeah, let's hope it's something we look back on someday and talk about. Remember, you couldn't leave the house without like checking your pockets and making sure you have one in the glove box and one in the center console of your car, one hanging from the rearview mirror, because you got to get out and go to the gas station. No mask. What are you gonna do? Hey,
or you forget like $20, and like everyone looks at you like you're like oh okay, gotta go. Oh yeah. Yeah. So how is I mean, you seem like in pretty good spirits. Like are you in the family, okay? Is everybody okay?
Doing all right. Yeah. Like I said, my son is back in school part-time. All the teachers had a chance to get vaccinated. So things are pretty good around here. I check the numbers and make sure, like we're not spiking or anything in numbers, but yeah, we're hanging in there and actually kind of enjoying some family time. We have moments where we get sick of each other, but especially at 7 a.m. when you hear a squeaky toy and dogs skittering across the hardwood floors.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been enjoying catching up on house projects and just kind of not having plans every weekend.
Yeah.
I miss a lot of those, but yeah.
There's things I missed, and it was good. I saw my family for the first time in like 7 months. Because we could go to New Jersey, and everybody except for me was vaccinated, including my wife, because she's a teacher. And yeah, it was. I don't know. If it kind of felt normal again, like it was just like we didn't do much with my family. We just kind of sat around and laughed, and I got to saw my nephew for the first time in months, like he's a baby. And so yeah, I don't know. I hope I've been really trying to find the glass half full, with all this, and I think that just yeah, we're getting more time out in nature, more hikes, which I love, and we got snowshoes, we got a bunch of snow, we're doing that, and yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
we
obviously,
got
it
late.
would be better. Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I was handy. I'm super proud of these shelves behind me because I drilled, I
Put
did
those
those,
up.
I put those up, but like I am not a handy person. And so you were saying about like you passed down from your father. I
Yeah.
love my father, but he's even less of a handy person. So like I'm like a fucking tool man compared to this guy, and I love him to death. But yeah, I was so afraid to draw. I waited until nobody was home because like, if it went badly, I was like gonna have to pull like a Shawshank, and like close it over it if it went badly. So I was definitely a little worried about it. But or as soon as I put something on there, I was going to be like rip out the wall. But in hindsight, I was very proud of myself.
Yeah, I still my dad, both my parents were able to get vaccinated. My dad just came over beginning of the week, and he was helping me do electrical to put up new lights in the living room. And I was like, Dad, help! I don't want to get zapped.
Yeah, it's awesome, right? It's just kind of like it felt normal, and like we just
Yeah,
ordered a bunch of food, had beers. The tournament was on. We were just sitting around, like it was simplistically normal, and it was great.
that's the glass half full is hopefully we make it out of this together, and we're all gonna have a whole new appreciation for being in crowds and being together and doing all the stuff that
Yeah.
it's like a long time out.
Yeah, I don't want. I
Like,
don't know if I like. I don't know if I'm ready for like to be at a show and just be like
I
all.
know.
Like I don't want. I don't know if I want that. Like
Yeah, it's gonna be weird.
yeah, venue last like October. Like I think it was like September, November. They converted a farm into a music venue, and you had like your own mini plot of land, like your own square. So like you're at a concert, but it wasn't like this. It was you had your 10 feet by 10 feet, and then the next one was 10 feet over, and that was their square. And so it was a
Uh,
smaller number of people, and the tickets price were a little more, but it was still live music and still the energy with the band could vibe off of. But it was kind of nice to go like this and not have everybody around.
it's not, like I said, it's not the worst sometimes. Like,
Like I mean, I love everyone who's watching this. I love everyone who's listening. I love you all, but like I don't know, I'm more of like I don't need to be like this. I'm not into that at all.
no, it's been a huge like loss of life and people, these long haulers and stuff, and I don't want to minimize that, but you have to sometimes just like look on the bright side and say, hey, we're making it work somehow.
What I've been saying, and you can use this since you're in the Midwest. We don't cross pollinate circles, but I just been saying we're closer to the end than we are at the beginning, and that's really that's the positive, right? I mean, we don't know how much longer, but I know it won't be another year, and so it'll be okay. And I think it'll be there's a lot of folks that could just use a hug and are like you were saying, don't want to minimize it, who are like truly alone, and but in the same regards, like I definitely know who's important in my life, like
Yeah.
because you kind of get rid of the fringe folks who are just like, like, or like I used to call them like the hey, what's up club. Like you don't have any malice toward them, but like, you're not like, you
Yeah.
don't care what's going like, you're like, yeah, hey, what's up? Yeah, all right, good. Yeah. And then yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad for the introverts. All,
My wife jokes, she's like, I've been preparing this for this moment my whole life. She's like, this is everything.
all right. No plans this weekend? Sounds good.
Yeah. It's like outside us, no one else. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And Yeah. Out in the backyard, get a little campfire going. All right, good. Yeah.
My kind of night. My kind of night. Cooler, cold
Yeah, I
beer.
hope we can get a fire going this weekend because it's been. I mean, you're in Chicago. Chicago's the weirdest weather place I think in the U.S. I think that people don't realize that. Where'd you go?
Yeah, we're kind of lagging behind a little bit, but it hasn't been terrible. It hasn't been great either, but we were in sub zeros for like a long time, and now we're finally coming out of it. I think it was like in the upper 50s on Monday. T-shirts, shorts, everybody's out, windows down. It's just how it is. After
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there in the same year. It's been like sub 10, and I've been there. It's like $1.10, and I was like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I love Chicago, so I can't wait to get back.
Yeah. It's hey, next time you're in town, we
yeah.
definitely got to hang out.
Yeah.
I know we missed each other last time you were around, but
it's all good, man.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find some places that are open the next time you're out and about.
Yeah, I know a few spots and we'll do it up. Yeah, I mean, Jason, you supported us early on, and you've been a huge supporter from the get-go. And it's just nice to see your face and let you know how much I appreciate the support. It really, it means a lot. And just to be able to tell stories like yours is, it's kind of the project it means a lot more to me than I ever thought it would. And it's through meeting folks like yourself. So I just wanted to, thank you again for being one of the crew.
Oh, same to you. Thank you. You've taken an overlooked art form and elevated it. You brought it up like, hey, it's more than just pretty picture on the store shelves. There's people behind this, and there's like a whole community. Like, oh my God, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. So yeah, we'll get together soon. And if you need anything between now and then, don't hesitate to reach out. And I appreciate it. We'll see where the beard ends up. It's got a life of its own.
Keep it going.
Like a little last time I think you had like a little handlebar mustache. I think in your press photo.
Usually I do. It's just I didn't wake up early enough to really get it going. I'll work on it next time for you.
Please do that.
I'll get the beard curlers out.
I bet. Yeah, get some curling iron going. Yeah. All right, brother. I'll see you soon. All right.
All right. Thanks, AJ.
Later,
All right.